Please introduce yourself.
I'm Kenzie.
I'm Riley.
I'm Jake.
I'm Zach.
I'm Trey.
I'm Victor.
All right, I appreciate you guys all coming out today. And I'd like to begin today with my speech on Amendment 1 with a quote from Thomas Edison. I put money on the sun and solar energy. What a source of power. I hope we don't have to wait until oil and coal run out to tackle that. I wish I had more years left. As we all know, there is a growing need for more sustainable and renewable energy sources because fossil fuels will eventually run out. And Florida has long been known as the Sunshine State, and because of that, solar energy is a huge issue here in Florida. Now, currently, how solar energy works, as an article from SolarCity's website breaks it down, is a consumer decides that they would like to purchase solar energy products. So they come out and install it in a place on the residence that gets direct sunlight. Now, these solar panels will generate electricity that in turn go into an inverter and is used in your home for your lights, fans, air conditioning, etc. Now, electricity that you generate that you don't use, in other words a surplus, goes back into the power grid and you actually get paid for that. And if you don't produce enough electricity to meet your home's needs, you'll pull from the grid and get charged by your electric company. Now, what supporters of Amendment 1 say, according to Ballotpedia, is that Amendment 1 seeks to add a section to the Florida State Constitution which allows residents the right to own or lease their own solar products while also protecting residents who choose to not use solar energy from subsidizing its production. Supporters argue also that this will further protect the residents' rights who do choose to use it, and a big point from the supporters is that those who choose not to use it will not have to subsidize those who don't. In other words, they will not have to pay any extra. As Help Solar Power's website states, the top 3 biggest donations received to support the amendment was 1, Florida Power and Light Company at $4.1 million, Duke Energy at $3.9 million, and Tampa Electric Company at $2.3 million. Now, opponents of Amendment 1 say, also according to Ballotpedia website, is that the amendment seeks to keep the residents' right to use solar power as a state statute and not constitutionalize it. Claims that the so-called rights this amendment protects are already protected by state statute and don't belong in the Constitution. Now, as Al Gore says, the things they claim protect solar are protections you already have that gives them the authority to shut down net metering and do in Florida what they did in Nevada and just kill the solar industry. And when he's referring to net metering, that is when you give electricity back to the solar grid and you get paid for it. Again, Ballotpedia states and argues that the only benefits big utility companies by allowing them to continue to control the power supply, and fear that more people using solar means less money for them. They also argue that the amendment, in reality, seeks to limit the growth of solar energy and the selling of excess energy back into the solar grid by the people who produce a surplus. Notable opponents, also from Ballotpedia, notable opponents of the amendment include Jimmy Buffett, Charlie Crist, and American Solar Energy Society. Now, as I just said, you now know what the thought process is from both sides of the amendment, from supporters and opponents, and which of them are giving the most donations to help support their cause.